Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? We got some moves to talk about. Look at the Mariners making a big trade. Matt Olson going to the Braves earlier today. Are the Blue Jays taking a look at Freddie Freeman? Are the Rockies going after Kris Bryant? We're going to talk a little Seiya Suzuki, a little Andrew McCutchen as well. Kyle Schwarber. Let's get to it. And good evening, baseball fans. Hello, hello. Wow, we are right at around 500 people to start things off. That might be a record for the streams. Everyone, thank you for stopping by on this lovely Monday evening. How you doing, everyone? A lot of familiar faces in the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat. We are officially over 500 people in the chat to start things off. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. We also hit 20,000 subscribers today. My mind's blown at that, to be completely honest. I remember when I first started this channel. Go look at the very first video on this channel. You'll just see exactly how bad it was. Go to the very first video on this channel, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Never thought I would even get to 100 subscribers on this channel, and we're at 20,000. So thank you to everyone, all the new subscribers that have been coming in lately. Man, oh man. There's Jackson, one of the OGs, one of our moderators here. Hello. Seeing some members in the chat. We're almost at 100 members on this channel, by the way. So think about maybe joining up for a membership. You get access to a private Discord. So if you're just carrying your phone around everywhere, you can talk baseball on your phone whenever you want. Also, everyone, think about subscribing. Hey, we just got to 20,000. Let's keep on going. Let's get to 30,000. Let's get to 1 billion. Why not? Let's do it. But especially with baseball season right around the corner, if you are looking for more news and content in the baseball world, think about subscribing. Everyone also hit the like button. It really does help get this stream out there into the algorithm. Hit the bell notification as well. That way you get notified anytime I go live, anytime I post a video. And also, hey, share the stream on Twitter anywhere you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know, go to your grandma's bingo hall if you want to go there and tell the people there to come on in. So let's get to it, everyone. So we got some news to talk about tonight. Matt Olson was the big one. We went live for that for an instant reaction earlier. I have never made a thumbnail as quickly as I did when I was making that thumbnail. I felt like I was on fire at that point. But that was a big trade. What's going to happen with Freddie Freeman? We're going to talk a little Freddie Freeman tonight. A little Kyle Schwarber as well. We're going to talk a little Andrew McCutchen, Seiya Suzuki, Jorge Soler. Kris Bryant is out there as well. Also, a little something about Chris Archer going on. Can Chris Archer maybe get back to what he used to be? I don't know. We'll have to see where he ends up going. So let's get to the first story. And, you know, just in case if anyone was not here for earlier when I went live, I'm just going to go over this trade really quick. Matt Olson, I'm pretty sure everyone's heard about it by now, but just in case you weren't here earlier for my analysis on it, I will break it down for you. So let me pull up the trade here on Baseball Trade Values. It was a pretty even trade. Ends up being a really good one for both sides, I think. So let's go pull this up. Let's get the music going. Let's get started here, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I want to also, there was a super chat earlier. Let me get to that really quick. So here we go. Let me get back to that super chat really quick. That was from JM1231. As an M's fan, I love adding Winker. Oh, of course, we got to talk about little Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez. That's another big trade that happened today as well. As an M's fan, I love adding Winker since the AL West is so righty heavy and Suarez is primed to bounce back. Sad no Bryant, but I think we add a pitcher. You know, it is looking like probably Kris Bryant. I don't know. Could they still do it? Probably not at this point. I think the dream is over for Kris Bryant. I thought that was the team to do it. I really did. I thought they were going to do it. And, man, is Kris Bryant actually going to go to the Rockies? I hope Kris Bryant goes to the Rockies. That would be the funniest thing to me. I would just absolutely love it. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. JM, thank you for the $5 super chat to start things off. There was also Jacob Toon. I'm not sure if that one's going to pop up or not, but let me actually just read that real quick. You said here, I know this is Major League Baseball, but rest in peace, Scott Hall. So yeah, any WWE fans in the chat, AEW fans, you know, any wrestling fans around the world. I am a wrestling fan. I grew up a wrestling fan. Not as much of a fan today than I was as a kid, but man, Scott Hall, man, he was one of the best. One of the best of all time. He was taken off of life support today. At first, he was doing fine, and he obviously still wasn't responsive, but in the end, ended up passing away. Scott Hall, rest in peace. A legend in wrestling. So I know this is a baseball channel, but definitely just want to say that. So, but let's get to Matt Olson to the Braves. I would imagine this means Freddie Freeman is not coming back. Anthropoulos today was talking to the media, was getting pretty emotional. That, to me, pretty much signals the end of Freddie Freeman as a Brave. There was some chatter out there that there was still an offer on the table. He can come, you know, maybe play third base. You could have Austin Riley move out to left. I just don't think that's going to happen. If it does happen, that would be really cool, but I don't know if it's going to. So, but for the Braves, you get a really good first baseman in Matt Olson. So here is the trade. Very even on baseball trade values. Once again, they do have another trade that gets approved by their algorithms. So taking a look here, Matt Olson, around $45 million worth of value. Why? He's very good. He's under control. He's not going to be as expensive as some of these other guys. I think he's going to be making around $12 million this year, where Freddie Freeman, you're probably looking at over $30 million for him. So Matt Olson, very clear why his value is high. And then looking back at the package that the A's got, former top prospect for the Braves, Christian Pache, he has lost some value in the last couple of years. The glove is fantastic, but the bat just hasn't really come around. Let's see if a change of scenery can help him out. But the big part of that package, Pache definitely has the name value, but Langeliers, this is a big-time power-hitting catcher who is very good in the field. Very good in the field, great arm, hit 22 home runs in the minor leagues last year. Langeliers, that was a huge get for the A's. And then they also get a couple of pitching prospects in Cusick and Estes as well. To me, Langeliers, that was a big get for them. And now what's going to happen with Sean Murphy? That's going to be a big thing here where, you know, Sean Murphy, I believe he's in the last year of pre-arbitration before he gets to his 3 years of arbitration. So I would not be surprised at all to see the A's move Sean Murphy as well. I mean, look out for that. But Langeliers, that was a huge get. Really do like this move for both sides. I think the A's get a very good package. It just goes to show the A's, they have never come out and said, hey, you know, we're looking to clear payroll. I mean, obviously it was assumed that reports were coming out, but the A's never once said, you know, from their front office, like, yeah, we're looking to cut payroll. You know why? If they did that, they would lose all the leverage, and they would get nothing back for these guys. Look, I mean, we'll talk about the Reds here in a second. They ended up getting a pretty decent package back today for what I thought, but they really did not do very good in that Sonny Gray trade. They did get Chase Petty, a young flamethrower, you know, throws in the upper 90s. There's a lot of relief risk to him, though. He's a high school arm, or he's drafted out of high school. So a lot of reliever risk for Chase Petty, and the fact that that was the only thing that they got for Sonny Gray, who is still a pretty talented middle of the order arm for your rotation, or not middle of the order, middle of the rotation arm. He's under control, very solid guy for your rotation, and he's not expensive. So I think they should have gotten more for him, but I digress here. But for the Reds, the reason, you know, maybe they didn't get a lot back there was because they've been kind of saying out loud, like, yeah, we're kind of, we're strapped for cash. We're looking to, maybe clear some payroll. They have said, something along those lines, out there in the media. So, but I really do like this trade overall for both sides. A great package going back to the A's. The Braves, yes, they're probably going to lose Freeman, but Olson, fantastic. Hey, they had to make this move. They did, because if they probably tried really hard for Freeman. Obviously, Anthopoulos today, he was emotional. He was probably trying everything he could, to keep Freeman in the fold. Ownership probably did not want to go overboard on, over $30 million, especially when someone like Paul Goldschmidt, who has the highest AAV among first basemen at around $26 million, the ownership was probably like, no. Like, we're not doing $30 million for Freeman. We love Freeman, but they probably just thought, according to their numbers, it just wasn't worth the investment. They probably just thought they wouldn't make it back. I don't know, but the Braves, that's just how they operate now. They don't ever give out these big contracts. They never do. So the biggest one that I can think of at the time of when it was made was Chipper Jones, 5 years, $90 million. That's a big deal back in 2002. Braves, I don't know if they do that kind of money now. So, but taking a look here, again, very good package going back to the A's. They did a fantastic job with this trade. This is exactly the kind of a trade they needed to make. It's a little bit of both. You're getting quality and quantity in here. So I really do like that. A lot of people pretty upset in Atlanta about having to give up Langeliers, but they do have some other catchers there, so I think they can make it by for the time being. But Langeliers is a good player to give up, and I think he is going to be something. It's tough to give up a catcher like that because you just don't see a lot of catchers of that caliber, a lot these days. So that was a tough one to give up. But hey, as the old saying goes, to get something good, you have to give up something good. So, but on the bright side, you still kept your top prospect, at least on Baseball America. They say he's the top prospect for the Braves, Michael Harris, who can end up being a good all-around player. So overall, I really like this for both sides. So let's talk a little Freddie Freeman, shall we? A little Freddie Freeman. Also, I'm not seeing any of these super chats popping up. I'm not sure why. I see a $10 super chat coming in. Brady Burkhardt, I see you. $10 super chat. Thank you so much for that. I'm not sure why it's not popping up on the screen. I'm going to have to go into my settings and see what's going on. But Brady Burkhardt, you say here, I want Story to the Twins, but I just have to wait and see what happens with that. I think that would be a really good fit, especially I thought Kiner Falefa was going to be their shortstop. I think we all did. I thought that was a really nice move when they did the move, and then they just flip him to the Yankees. But then everyone's thinking, oh, wow, okay. Well, you could still get a shortstop. You definitely still could do it. You could move Polanco back over to second, and then Story could fit right in. There has been a report out there that the Twins are interested in him. Would not be surprised at all to see Story go to the Twins. I think that'd be a really nice fit. Alrighty, we're up to 1,000 people in the chat. Everyone, thank you so much. Ben McMurdo, I also see you in the chat as well. Maybe the Cardinals. There were a few teams that were showing some interest in Trevor Story. Twins. There was also the Astros. Who knows what happens with Carlos Correa? They got the Cardinals. Who was the other team? There was one more team on that tweet that I saw. Was it the Cubs? I don't remember. Was it the Angels? The Red Sox, supposedly, he turned down an offer for the Red Sox. So, Red Sox were on him. They were trying to bring him into town to, the Yankees. That's what it was. And the Guardians. I have seen the Guardians. Did I see the Yankees? It might have been the Guardians that I saw. But, so, Red Sox, it would have been nice. I really did want Trevor Story, and it sounded like they really wanted him too, but he wants to stick it short. He doesn't want to take the Marcus Semien route where Marcus Semien played some second base. I thought he would do the same thing, but ended up not doing it. So, but we're done with Matt Olson. If you want to go listen to more about what I had to say, go back to the stream from earlier today. But let's get to Freddie Freeman, shall we? It's looking like the Dodgers, maybe that was a clear-cut favorite for Freddie Freeman now, especially with Olson going to the Braves. You got the Yankees there. But it's looking like another team is maybe making a push for Freddie Freeman, and that is the Toronto Blue Jays. Are you kidding me? This is dumb. This would be the worst. Like, obviously, Freeman going to the Yankees would be awful. But holy cow, this lineup is so good with the Blue Jays already. And obviously, you lost Marcus Semien. But if you could replace Semien with Freddie Freeman, like, are you kidding me? Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This was coming from John Morosi earlier today at right around 6 o'clock Eastern time. The Blue Jays have had conversations with Freddie Freeman's camp and conveyed serious interest as his free agent decision nears, sources confirm. Freeman is a dual citizen of the U.S. and Canada, and remember, he played for Canada in the World Baseball Classic. So, that's a very interesting wrinkle, man. That is just, man. Like, obviously, going to the Yankees, that would be just very, very tough. But this Blue Jays lineup, man, it's so good. I mean, just look at this lineup. Springer, Bichette, Vlad Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I mean, come on. First baseman, having Freddie Freeman as your first baseman. I mean, get out of here. Get out of town. That is just... They really need a left-handed bat, too. So, this is... Wow. I don't know what to say now. You would have to think the Dodgers. They're gonna... But then again, the Blue Jays... Here's the difference with the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. The Dodgers, they're already over that CBT. Do they want to keep going over it? There's got to be a point in time where they got to get under that CBT. Like, they just have to, right? That's the only thing I wonder about. Obviously, the Dodgers are a favorite, but the Blue Jays have a lot more payroll room. A lot more. They're at around 175, 176 million right now. So they got over 50 million to play with. I mean, that's an advantage for the Blue Jays already. And unless the Dodgers don't mind going over that CBT. If they don't mind going, keep going over it, then so be it. But the Blue Jays, they have that wiggle room. The Blue Jays have money to spend. They're owned by the Rogers Communications. That's a big time company. So they have money to spend. It's not like they're like a small market team over here. The Blue Jays have money, man. Andrew Lee, you sent a super chat. Yeah, I think there's a lot of subscribers coming in at the moment. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I really do appreciate it. It looks like it's just running a little behind everyone. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I mean, I guess that just means we're getting a lot of subscribers in. But Andrew Lee, I'll read your super chat just out loud. It will pop up eventually. You're saying here, could Story go to the Padres on a 1-year deal? I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it. I would imagine probably not. I know Fernando Tatis Jr. I know that that was a thing. Or, that's kind of a big deal. Where I was actually reading that maybe the Padres possibly could have been looking into voiding his contract, but I guess that's not going to happen. I mean, he got in an accident on his motorcycle, which I guess, that's against his contract. He can't be doing stuff like that. The Padres could essentially look to void that contract. So, I don't think they will. But, I mean, I don't know what Fernando Tatis Jr. is doing, man. It's like, how do you... Hopefully, it was just... Obviously, I don't want the guy to get into an accident. I don't want anyone to get into any kind of an accident, but... I just really hope it wasn't him fooling around, like doing wheelies or whatever, and just being irresponsible. You got to remember, Fernando Tatis Jr., he's still a very young guy. He's gonna go out there, maybe have a little fun. But I don't know what exactly happened, but I just hope that's not what it was. I really hope that's not what it was, because that's not a good look, man. And now he could miss the first half of the season. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr., he is just made of just glass. He's made of glass, duct tape. He is just broken all over the place. He's having shoulder issues. I think he's had something with his back or something here and there. Now, now it's his wrist. It's like, good grief. I don't know what the heck. I don't know, man. But that's going to be tough, Hopefully that doesn't become an issue long term. Obviously with your wrists, that's a big thing, for guys that are, swinging the stick, man. So I think he is going to be okay. But I'm going to get back to that in a little bit. I actually have a video to show all of you. I was talking in my last stream, I was telling you why I'm not actually surprised about the story about Fernando Tatis Jr. because I guess how it went was he fractured his wrist, and then it probably kind of waited around for a little bit, it was sore, he let it kind of heal up a little bit, and then he went to go take some swings, and then I guess his wrist started like really bothering him, and then it was revealed that it was a fracture, but that it had healed up a lot, which shows that it happened a while before. So they were kind of linking that motorcycle accident to that. So, but it's funny because I have a friend, it was like the same exact thing. He fractured, I'll get to the story here in a little bit, but I had a friend that fractured something as well. And he kind of rested a little bit, and then he tried to do some things, and then it was just like killing him. So I'll show you that video a little bit later. It's quite some good comedy. So, but back to Freddie Freeman here, the Blue Jays. This is, I definitely think this could happen. I think it just depends. Does Freeman want to go to Toronto? Does he want to go to Canada? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It really comes down to, I feel like he's got 3 options right now. Unless another team just jumps in somewhere, late. But it looks like it's down to the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. So, we're going to have to wait and see. But I think that Toronto with Freddie Freeman would just be nuts. Like, this lineup is just so deep already, even without Marcus Semien. This is a really good lineup. I mean, look what you're adding with Freddie Freeman here. Look at some numbers. Just from last year. Goodness gracious. 300 with the batting average, 31 homers, almost a 400 on base, 500 slugging. I mean, you all know what you're getting with Freddie Freeman. You're getting an all-around hitter, but you're also getting some good defense at first base as well. So, we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening. But this is dangerous, man. If Freddie Freeman goes to the Blue Jays, that is just dangerous. So, but Freddie Freeman's not the only guy. It looks like they have a backup plan as well. And I'm very familiar with this one. He ended up being really good for us. But there's also Kyle Schwarber that's out there at the Blue Jays. They're also pushing for him as well. So it looks like Freeman, I mean, if I were to use my potato brain here, I would imagine that Freeman is their number 1 target, but if they can't get him locked up, they're going to push for Schwarber. So, hold on one second, everyone. 1 second. One second, everyone. Okay, so let's get to the story here. All right, so Blue Jays making a push for Schwarber. So, again, I think Freeman's the number 1 target. But if they can't lock him up, they have been connected with Schwarber, not recently. They've been connected with him since the beginning of the offseason. It just goes to show the Blue Jays are really looking for a left-handed bat, and they're going to look for it any way they can. Schwarber can fit perfectly. They can definitely find a spot for him. So, why is my Twitter not working here? Twitter is not working for me. 1 second. Just making sure I'm keeping my notifications on, just in case something happens. Man, why is this not working? There we go. There we go. Seeing Hector Gomez tweeting a lot. I'm actually seeing something here from John Morosi. Speaking of Fernando Tatis Jr., says, He has pledged to the Padres that he will no longer ride on motorcycles. So I'm told the injury has given Tatis renewed perspective on obligations to the organization, teammates, fans, and himself. I mean, it took an accident like that? So, whatever, I guess. So, I don't know. But what can you do? So, Schwarber, he was fantastic with the Red Sox last year. When we got him, he had that, big-time hamstring injury when he was with the Nationals. But remember when he was with the Nationals last year, he was white hot. And then he pulled his hamstring, or he strained his hamstring. But when he came back to the Red Sox, something clicked, man. Something really clicked. Overall, he hit 266 with 32 homers, 71 RBIs, a 374 on base, 554 slugging. So at least when you compare Freeman and Schwarber, when you compare their numbers last year, Schwarber definitely had the better slugging. This is a guy that you can count on and maybe drive in some more runs. Freeman, it's more of like he's going to give you a little more batting average. So that's kind of where they trade off a little bit. I think I would prefer Freeman, honestly, but I wouldn't be upset getting Kyle Schwarber either. But taking a look at how he did with the Red Sox, he hit 291, a 435 on base. Like, that is nutty, man. He was really good for the Red Sox. He was good in the playoffs. But with Schwarber, one good thing about him is that because of his on-base skills, he's very good at the top of a lineup, and that's why I think he would be really good for the Phillies. The Phillies really need someone like that. So, I don't know, the Phillies have they've gone quiet here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. They've been kind of linked to a few guys here, Kris Bryant and Castellanos. They were linked with Schwarber before. The hitting coach for the Phillies was the hitting coach that got him back on track with the Nationals. So, to me, the Phillies are a really good fit. But I don't know what's going on with the Phillies right now. I don't know, man. Dave Dombrowski, hopefully he's ready to pull a trigger somewhere because he might be running out of time. So, but if you get either Freddie Freeman or Kyle Schwarber on the Blue Jays, that's going to be really nice. That's going to be, man, that'd be nuts. So, but let's get to a big trade from earlier today. We had the Mariners and the Reds. The Reds, once again, wheeling and dealing, giving up Sonny Gray to the Twins. And now, this is a big one. This one kind of threw me off. I had no idea what to think of this when it happened. But getting both Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez, man, big-time trade. This is, man. Let's go take a look at the numbers here. Well, let's actually go take a look here at the trade itself. So, if we go take a look at the trade on baseball trade values, it was a little lopsided. On here, it looks even, but there was no cash involved in this trade. So, this is just here just so the owner of baseball trade values could post it. Because it won't approve the trade unless it's within range or unless the values are in range of each other. So, again, there was no cash. So disregard the cash. It was just Suarez and Winker. But going back to the Reds, I really like what they got back. They got back Williamson, who's a really good pitching prospect. He's now to the number 4 pitching prospect on MLB Pipeline. I know a lot of people right now with the Reds, they're not too happy with the Cincinnati Reds right now. But I'm going to tell you this. Holy cow. They are stocking up on pitching. You got Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo, who are right around the corner. And now you got Brandon Williamson, who did pretty good last year in the minor leagues. Between high A ball and double A, he had some good numbers. Overall, he had a 3.39 ERA over 19 starts, 153 strikeouts over around 100 innings. That's a really good strikeout rate. That's really good. And he doesn't walk a lot of guys either. He had 153 strikeouts compared to 33 walks. Brandon Williamson is a good pitching prospect. He's not going to be the level of a Nick Lodolo or a Hunter Green, but the Reds are... their rotation could be stupid good really soon. Just look out. I'm wondering Also, one thing I am thinking about with the Reds, I wonder if maybe they're going to try and extend Luis Castillo. Maybe they're trying to keep their money together for him. Because could you imagine a rotation of Luis Castillo, Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Brandon Williamson? I mean, ooh, that is just, man, that is really good. So I know the Reds, they're, obviously they're kind of selling off like the A's right now, but I really do like the future of the Reds. They got some pretty nice prospects in here. I loved Matt McClain when they drafted him. I thought that was a really nice pickup. They got some guys here that are farther away, but this is a pretty good-looking farm system right now. So look out, man. I'm really excited about Hunter Green and Lodolo. I hope we see them this year. And then JD Sports Zone, they have Tyler Mahle as well. Could they end up trading him? They'd probably get a pretty good pack. They should get a good package back for Tyler Mahle. That is where I could see they would have leverage on that, where they don't have to get rid of Mahle if they don't want to. So if a team wants to give up a good package for him, I definitely could see that happening. But let's talk about the Mariners now. So let me pull up the Mariners. Let's see how they are looking. Taking a look. Where's Seattle? Seattle. Here we go. So let me close out Schwarber there. Let me close out that tweet. Alrighty, so here is the story. The Mariners made a massive addition to their lineup, announcing the acquisition of star outfielder Jesse Winker and third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Remember Jesse Winker last year? There were people that were calling for him to be MVP. He was doing that good last year. So this is a big addition, man. If we go take a look at Jesse Winker, he was injured a little bit last year. So keep that in mind. But I believe he played 110 games. That is something with Jesse Winker. He hasn't really been able to stay on the field. So that is one thing to keep an eye out for. But he had a really good season, man. Hit 305, a 394 on base, a 556 slugging, 24 homers, 71 RBIs. One thing also to take note of, I know there is injury risk with Jesse Winker. And there's also another thing, too. He does not hit lefties all that well. Against lefties last year, over 102 at-bats, he only hit 177, an on-base under 300, a slugging under 300. Did not perform well against lefties last year. So, but against righties, that's massive. There's a lot of good righties, in the division, sorry. Especially like on the Astros. If we go take a look at the Astros, let me pull up the Astros. Let me pull up the Angels. So, Astros I would think are probably the betting odds favorite right now. But if you take a look here, look at all these righties, man. Verlander, Luis Garcia, Urquidy, Javier. They got righties galore that Winker could tee off on, man. Winker and Verlander, that could definitely be a mismatch. So look out for that. And with the Angels, obviously a lot of righties too. Ohtani, Syndergaard, Lorenzen. So there's the good pitchers that are in this division on the other teams. They're righties. So, it's something I didn't really think of. I'm going to give credit to Jeff Passan because he tweeted that out. I don't know. I just never dawned on me where all these guys were just righties. And I was like, oh, wow, he's right. So I think adding someone like Winker is going to be really nice. But man, look at this lineup now. I really did want Kris Bryant, but at least what I like about it, what I almost kind of like it more than what you would end up getting with Kris Bryant. Like Jesse Winker last year, he had a wins above replacement of 2.7, and Eugenio Suarez, well, he was at negative 0.7, so they combined for 2 wins above replacement. Could you maybe make the argument that Kris Bryant would have been, just better to add by himself? I guess it just really depends. Also, but I want to point this out too. I want to actually point this out. Eugenio Suarez, this wins above replacement is very low because of the first half that he had. The first half that he had was really bad, but he was really good in the second half. So, do they actually show wins above replacement for first and second half? Well, there's the super. I don't know why the other super chats didn't pop up, or if they did pop up, I didn't see it. I'm sorry about that, but here's another super chat. Gadzooks with a $10 super chat. The Reds make me sad. I wonder if this is a revenge ploy by Castellani for raising the luxury tax against his wishes. It's actually embarrassing. I just think in the end, it just comes down, to money. I wouldn't think of it as a revenge kind of a thing. They probably just think, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they think they have guys that can maybe give them somewhat close production. Because if you're looking at it from a full season, with Winker and Suarez, last year, based off of the numbers, they're losing 2 wins. Winker had a 2.7, and Suarez had a negative 0.7. So I'm just kind of looking at it that way as well. But with Suarez, look at these numbers that he had in the second half. Way better in the second half. Look at the slugging percentage that he had in the second half. A 524 slugging compared to a 372. That's a very big difference right there. On base was 100 points. Well, maybe not 100 points. Around 80 points higher in the second half. Eugenio Suarez is not really a batting average kind of a guy. This is a guy that just hits straight dingers. But the fact that his batting average was about 60 points higher, he had a massive second half. Over 59 games, he had 13 home runs, and over 86 in the first half, he had 18. So if you can get Suarez if you can get the second half Eugenio Suarez, I definitely think that could be something. I want to see what was his wins above replacement in the second half. So let me go to his splits on Fangraphs. Let's see. Let's go to splits tool. Let's go to advanced. I don't know. I don't know if they show that. Advanced. Splits. Let's go time filter. Second half. So standard. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to just show the WAR, but also taking a look in the second half, he had a 121 WRC plus. And in the first half, Suarez had a 63 WRC plus. So I would imagine you should be able to see what his WAR was. So on Fangraphs WAR, he had a 0.6. He is projected for a 2.5 this year. So gonna have to wait and see. But I do want to see here. Let me try one more time. I want to just see what his WAR was, because it was definitely negative in the first half. So it doesn't show WAR here. It just shows like WRC plus, OPS. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it. You can all see he was very good in the second half. So as for the Mariners, this lineup just got a lot better. Look at all these guys that they have projected for over 20 home runs. Are you kidding me? Haniger, Winker now, France, Kelnick. They're projecting Kelnick to with 24 home runs. That's pretty good. I would imagine if you're going to get 24 home runs, I would hope his on base would be better than this. And now Suarez. With Winker and Suarez, you just added over 50 home runs potentially. So that's a lot, man. And then you still got someone like J.P. Crawford, who's going to give you some speed and some good defense. Tom Murphy out here. You still got Abraham Toro. Man, just really good. This is great. This is a really nice move for the Mariners, man. Another super chat coming in. That's RCM with a $4.99. What's the M's outfield looking like now? Seems super crowded. Plus, Jerry already said he isn't going to block J-Rod from coming up. Really wanted Kris, man. I thought, Kris Bryant was going to go. I didn't see this happening. But then again, I'm not surprised that it happened, because it's like, why not? Like Suarez, he's on a good contract. He had a negative value, but I think with Suarez, the only reason his value went down was because of his performance. But he has a good contract. If we take a look at his contract, he's on a 7-year, $66 million deal with a team option for 2025. That's a great contract. If he can just get, to what he was doing before, in the second half, obviously he was great. But let's go take a look at some of the prior years. 2020, he was really bad. So obviously he got into some kind of funk where he wasn't seeing the ball all that well, hitting home runs, but, his on-base percentage in prior years was really good. So, his on-base last year overall was not good. But again, second half was way better. So it seems like he figured something out. But, the last couple of years, 2021, 2020 overall, that's way below his career average for on-base. So I think if you can just get back to that, and that's probably what the Mariners thought here. They probably thought, yeah, his value is, not looking probably too good because of the overall numbers. But they probably thought, you know what? Like, we can get this guy back on track. Like, he already got himself back on track in the second half. So they were probably looking at that very heavily. So, because Suarez has shown to be a good on-base guy before who can also hit for power. So, get him back to what he was doing before, and man, that's going to be huge. And also, I want to point out, too, going back to the Reds was Jake Fraley. I've actually talked about Jake Fraley on the show here, quite a few times. I was talking about Jake Fraley a lot with Kris Bryant. I was saying, with Jake Fraley, with Kris Bryant, he has that versatility. He could move to left field if you wanted to make the upgrade there, and then maybe, get another, you can have someone else play third if you really wanted to do that route. But Jake Fraley, hey, don't underestimate this guy. This is a good on-base guy. He looked really good at one point last year, but he ended up getting COVID, and then when he was injured, and then he came back, and he was doing well, and then he went on the COVID list, and he came back, and he was just not good. So, Jake Fraley, if he can just stay consistent for a whole year, I actually think he could end up being really good. So, I would not hate the addition of him, Reds fans, but do the Reds end up doing something else? Would they trade Joey Votto? Would they do it? I don't know. You still got Moustakas here. Could you trade Votto and Moustakas? I don't know, man. Because at this point, I wonder if the Reds end up hanging on to Luis Castillo and they try to sign him long term. Because that could be your ace for however long. But I could definitely see them trading him as well. So they're obviously stockpiling as much money as they can. So they're trying to save as much coin as possible. So, but if we could take a look here with Moustakas, that guy's value is just, oh boy, it's not good. So taking a look at the Reds, Votto Votto's going to be really hard to move. I don't think the Reds would move him because, that's kind of like, any fans that they get, to come to the games, Votto is going to be a guy that they're going to want to see. So I think Votto ends up staying because also, if you look at his value, it's very negative. He had a good year last year, but he's making a lot of money. He's not getting any younger. So, but then Moustakas, man, this guy is going to be really difficult to move. If we go to his numbers from last year, not good. He was injured a lot too. But, in 206 plate appearances, only hit 208. Ugh, that signing is just not worked out, man. It's not worked out. I think they're going to have a hard time trading Moustakas unless they put him with someone. So, I don't know. I'm thinking of who could be a team that could use a second baseman right now. I would think Moustakas he's listed at third base. So, I guess you could play either second or third. But if we're looking at let's go to third base positional ranks. Right now, the Orioles are dead last. Then you got the Nationals, Blue Jays. You know, nah, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say maybe the Blue Jays, if they don't get Freeman, could they maybe go after Joey Votto? You know, left-handed first baseman. So, but he would be really difficult to get. But you would have to pay some of his contract, and then probably put a prospect with him to get under that, or to get out from underwater on that contract. So, I mean, we can just play around with it here. Oh, I'm on the Blue Jays. Let's go back to the Reds. Oh, wait. Votto. Oh, new member! Daniel, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. We're drawing ever so close to 100 members. Everyone, thank you so much. Man, also, everyone, think about subscribing if you're here, if you're new. We're talking baseball here all the time. Man, we've gained around 400, maybe 500 subscribers today. Absolutely crazy. You guys have been awesome. But, well, actually, he doesn't even, the owner of this website actually didn't even put the option of trading Votto. He is that certain that Votto is not going to move. So, I don't know. But if you did Moustakas, let's just do it for giggles. You could maybe do cash. Could you imagine? Like, I mean, come on. It's probably not going to happen. But could you put Castillo with Moustakas? And then you would end up getting some, you know, pretty good prospects as well in return. I think I've read somewhere that it's very unlikely that they were going to pair Castillo with Moustakas. Because really, when you think about it, when you got Castillo, I mean, you could get a haul for him, man. Like, absolutely a haul. So it's like, do you really want to limit the package that you would get because of the bad contract? And I mean, you could pay money. So let's say, I don't know, they throw in 20 million or so. But then you could still, I mean, you would definitely take a hit on maybe like one decent prospect or a couple of lower prospects. But in this scenario, you would get a package back, or you should get a package back close to around 50 million. So could you imagine the Blue Jays did something like that? Man, I mean, who are some teams right now that could use some starting pitching as well as a third baseman? I mean, could you imagine Luis Castillo went to the Phillies? Joey donated $2. What's going on? Just saw you reach 20K. Congrats. Hey, thank you, my friend. Hey, you're one of the reasons for it, man. Thank you for helping us get to 20K. I appreciate everyone that helped us get to 20K. Really do appreciate it, everyone. Really. Man, let's keep on growing. Let's keep on growing. Also, everyone, hey, we're at 340 likes. Let's get to 400 here. Let's get to 500. Come on. Let's get some likes going here, huh? But Joey, thank you so much for that, my friend. So, I don't know. Maybe could you do the Diamondbacks? Luis Castillo on the Diamondbacks? That would give him a really nice arm. Luis Castillo, Zach Gallen, Madison Bumgarner. That'd be pretty good. Chad Dubb has become a member. Chad Dubb, thank you so much. Can we just talk Luis Castillo to the Diamondbacks into existence? Can that just happen? Anyone on the Diamondbacks, you watching right now? It's what, 7:15 at your time? Let's come on, Diamondbacks. Let's go. Let's go get Luis Castillo. Come on, let's do it. Nah, not gonna do it. So I mean, who else could you do? You got. I mean, the Phillies would be crazy. Could you imagine a rotation with Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and Luis Castillo? It'd be crazy. I don't think the Phillies have the prospects to get it done, though. I mean, what about the Marlins? Could you imagine the Marlins? Now, would they take that contract of Moustakas? Probably not. But could you imagine Luis Castillo with the Marlins? That'd be nuts. How about the Rangers? They just missed out on Matt Olson. Hey, why not? Let's go get Luis Castillo. Let's add some pitching. You know, Moustakas, maybe that could be a bat. Maybe that you could add. Maybe. There's teams out there that could do some kind of a trade like this. So, I don't know. Luis Castillo, man, he would be crazy for some teams. I know you'd have to take on a bad contract. But hey, remember, you know what this reminds me of right here? You know what this trade package reminds me of right here? Let's go back to 2005 when the Red Sox traded for a young flamethrower who had took down the Yankees in the 2003 World Series. I don't know if you remember him now. It goes by the name of Josh Beckett. And who was a guy, happened to be a third baseman coming off of a really bad year by the name of Mike Lowell. Mike Lowell ended up being really good. Hey, Red Sox legend Mike Lowell. Love me some Mikey Lowell, man. And this package right here reminds me of that. You know, and we gave Hanley Ramirez and Anibal Sanchez back. So this reminds me of that trade completely. I don't know. Because Mike Lowell, he definitely had a negative value at that time. So, because he had a bad year that year. So, what did Mike Lowell do in that year? It was 2005. Man, I love Mike Lowell, man. Any Red Sox fans in the house here? Any Red Sox fans with me? I was so happy when we got Josh Beckett. That was nuts, man. But Mike Lowell, in that last season, look how bad Mike Lowell was in 2005. He hit 236, a 298 on base, a 360 slugging. He had 8 home runs. The year before, he had 27. The year before that, he had 32. Let's go. I'm not saying that name. No. What are your thoughts on the Cardinals and Trevor Story? Likely or unlikely? Give me a percentage. I'll go 30%. You know, just because right now, where do you put him? I mean, I guess you could. I mean, you got DeYoung. DeYoung has a good glove. I don't see where you put him unless they make a move. I'll even go lower. I'll go 25%, maybe. So, I don't know. Right now, I think they would have to make another move. So, I don't see Trevor Story on the Cardinals right now. And then the Cardinals, they also just don't ever spend money like that. So, I'll go 20% for Trevor Story. I started at 30 and I went back down to 20. So, but yeah, one more time before I move on to the next story. Castillo, Moustakas, that's the same thing as Josh Beckett and Mike Lowell. It's the same thing. Mike Lowell, look how bad he was in 2005. That's basically Mike Moustakas right now. Hey, get a picture like Luis Castillo, and maybe you can get Mike Moustakas to turn it around just like the Red Sox did with Mike Lowell. Hey, Mike Lowell, just saying, man, was a big part of that 2007 World Series championship team. I'm just saying. Just saying. But who knows? Do the Reds end up trading Castillo? Would they like to sign him to a long-term deal? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Alec, 499 Super Chat. Cowboys still suck. Okay, yeah. I agree. I agree. How about Tom Brady, huh? Tom Brady coming out of retirement. I wonder what was up with that story. You know? Boston Production, since the Mariners got Winker, do they still get Bryant? I don't think so at this point. With Suarez now, I don't see it. I mean, I don't see it at all. I just don't see where you put him now. Could you put Suarez as a DH? You know, if we go to the Mariners, I just don't see where. So hold on. So, I mean, I guess you could move Suarez to DH and then Bryant could be the third baseman. So I wouldn't count it out exactly. But then what do you do with Toro? Does Toro move to the bench? I mean, obviously Bryant would be an upgrade. So I wouldn't count out the Mariners just yet on Kris Bryant. You know what? Let's segue into that. We're on Kris Bryant right now. So let's move on to that. So it's looking like the Colorado Rockies are looking into Kris Bryant. We got another super chat coming in. Jeremy, Tigers trade for Castillo. I mean, what are the Tigers doing? What are the Tigers doing right now? They've been quiet. Is their offseason done? I mean, I think another pitcher like Castillo, man, that'd be awesome. You know? So, Jeremy, thank you for the super chat. But let's move on to Bryant. We got the Rockies looking like they're going hard after Kris Bryant. You know what? I love it. I love it. You know, just a reminder for the 1,100 people in the chat, the Rockies won the Nolan Arenado trade. Not sure who needed to hear that or not, but just in case you're thinking, what the heck, Robbie, are you talking about? Well, let's just go to baseball trade values, shall we? I love showing this trade to everyone. It's one of my favorite things to do. Let's go to this trade. Going back to the Cardinals-Rockies infamous Nolan Arenado trade. Just take a look at the values. The Rockies getting $13 million worth of value, and the Cardinals only getting $6 million back. I'm just saying, look at the Rockies winning this trade. But where the Rockies lost, signing him to that extension in the first place, and then trading him a couple of years later. It's like, if you're gonna, why sign him to the extension? I don't know what the heck they were doing with that. But could you imagine if they end up getting Kris Bryant? That'd be nuts. That'd be absolutely nuts. Let's take a look at the story here. Bryant, he is being aggressively pursued. Not just pursued, but aggressively pursued. What do we got here? Any Twitter notifications? Nope, not seeing anything. Baseball sports talk with the 499 super chat. I think the Rockies crap is Boris trying to make the Phillies pay more for Bryant. Yeah, that definitely could be it. Maybe I wouldn't doubt that at all. Teams do that. Or agents like to do that. They like to call these other teams, you know, trying to get these guys to drive up the price. It happens all the time. So, but let's say the Rockies are maybe a legit contender. They're definitely there. And you know what? Hey, they traded away Arenado. Kris Bryant, at the end of the day, the contract that Kris Bryant ends up getting, it's going to be nowhere near the contract that Arenado had. So, Logan, thank you for subscribing. Fangraphs, they're projecting Kris Bryant for a 6-year, $150 million contract. That's going to be nowhere near what Arenado was making. If we go take a look at Arenado's contract, he had an 8-year, $260. So, the AAV on that was 32.5, and they were locked up with that until 2027. So, with Kris Bryant, it definitely would be cheaper. So, I mean, I guess when you think about it, they paid $50 million of Arenado's contract. So, I guess put that down to, is that how I should be thinking about it? I don't know, but they paid $50 million, $260. So let's just say the contract's $210, and then let's just say you put the 50 towards Kris Bryant. You've paid $50 million already. You got $150 for Bryant. So that would be a $200 million, basically, an expense. So they would have saved themselves $60 million. So if they went and got someone like Kris Bryant for this kind of a contract, 6 years over $150. So we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening with this. But it says here, this isn't the first time the Rockies have been tied to Bryant. That was a report earlier in the offseason. The Rockies, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, they have a pretty good team. Let's go take a look at the Rockies. It's not a bad team. They were one of the best defensive teams last year. And they got a pretty good squad. Obviously, it's not great. They did sign Jose Iglesias. Hopefully that glove can get going again. But you got some pretty solid players here. You got Ryan McMahon. You got CJ Cron. Brendan Rodgers should only get better. Charlie Blackmon's going to be okay. You got decent guys in the rotation. Herman Marquez, Kyle Freeland. Remember Austin Gomber they got in the Arenado trade. If you actually pull up the 2021 numbers, all of these guys had ERAs in the 4s, which to me, for Rockies pitchers, I think that's actually okay. But they need more offense. That's what they need. The Rockies, at the end of the day, in Coors Field, they have to outslug their opponents. It's just the name of the game in Coors Field. So, let me click out of some of these tabs. But yeah, so the Rockies, if they could add Kris Bryant, that would be nuts. As of right now, they have Ryan McMahon at third, but he could move. So you could put Brendan Rodgers at short, and then, or you could just put Kris Bryant in the outfield. So you could just do that. But Bryant would have no problems fitting in. Will he end up going there? I don't know. Are they just trying to drive up the price for other teams? I don't know. So we talked about Kyle Schwarber earlier. The Rockies definitely could get in on Kyle Schwarber. We'll have to wait and see. I would probably, if I were to guess, I don't think Bryant ends up going to the Rockies. But I can at least respect that the Rockies are trying to make something happen. So, but that's as much as I'll go on that. I don't think he ends up going to the Rockies. Could he? Sure. But I feel like the Phillies, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to give up on the Mariners just yet. You know, because the Mariners could essentially still fit Kris Bryant. I mean, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Eugenio Suarez and Abraham Toro? Or would you rather have Eugenio Suarez and Kris Bryant? I'm just saying, you know. So I'm not going to give up on the Mariners just yet. You know, because Kris Bryant would still be a huge get. So don't sleep on the Mariners. Don't give up on them. But it is looking like maybe the Phillies would be the natural spot here because they could use something there. They could use another on-base guy at the top of that lineup. He's great friends with Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, he has some kind of sway in that organization. He does. He's their star player. So definitely could happen for the Phillies. You know, I saw someone in the chat, maybe the Red Sox could be an option for someone like Kris Bryant. I wouldn't discount it. He's been connected with the Red Sox going back to last offseason. So Chaim Bloom has made calls about Bryant. They love that flexibility, or they love the versatility that Kris Bryant offers. So I'm not going to discount the Red Sox. That definitely could happen. So Andrew Lee, I see Padres for Bryant. You know, the Padres right now, when I saw, let's actually get to our next story here. That's a good segue. So with the Padres, they are right now, they're very close to that CBT. So it was looking like they were going to get Seiya Suzuki earlier, but now it's, I guess he put out earlier, I think it was on his Instagram, that he said, no, that's not an official deal. And, he is still a free agent. So, and now there's a report out there that he could be talking, he's still talking with other teams, and it looks like he met with the Cubs tonight. So I think I actually predicted Seiya Suzuki in my first batch of predictions. I did update my predictions at some point, but in my original predictions, I did pick the Cubs for Seiya Suzuki because I thought the timeline matched up. And because with the Cubs right now, they still feel like they could compete. They're in kind of a retool right now. But with Seiya Suzuki, if you could sign him up for 5 years, you know, within 3 years, maybe the Cubs could end up having, you know, some talent that gets to the major league level. You know, because, hey, the Cubs, they were connected with Carlos Correa. They feel like they're probably going to be a good team in the next few years. They could be good now. You know, maybe not good, but maybe good. But adding someone like Suzuki could fit for their timeline. And that's why I picked him for the Cubs originally. So no surprise that he's meeting with the Cubs. But again, those rumors, it looked like he was going to go to the Padres. He took a picture with Yu Darvish the other night. I kind of shot that one down. I didn't think it meant anything. But then I saw the report today, Nikon Sports out of Japan, saying that Suzuki and the Padres had reached a deal, which I was surprised about. Because if we go here to the Padres, if we go to their payroll, the Padres, it's been rumored out there that they don't want to go over that CBT. Well, why would they? They went over it last year and they had a dud of a season. So why would they want to go over the CBT? The same thing happened with the Red Sox. They were over the CBT a lot in 2019, didn't even make the playoffs, and look what happened. They traded away Mookie Betts, David Price, they cleared payroll left and right, and look at what the Red Sox are doing now. The Padres, they kind of look at it a little similar. So if you take a look, they have $13 million, or actually less than that, $12 million of flexibility left under the CBT, and that's why they're trying to get rid of guys like Eric Hosmer, Will Myers, which is a combined right around $43 million for their payroll. That's why they're trying to get rid of these guys. And I think Will Myers is going to be the easier one to trade. I think Eric Hosmer is going to be too tough to trade. That's a lot of negative value with him. You're looking at around negative $50 million worth of value. Whereas Will Myers, he's at around maybe like negative 12, negative 15. With Will Myers, you're still going to get a decent right-handed bat. Not a great one, but an okay bat. I actually think he would fit well in Fenway Park, but that's just me. So the Padres, they have an issue right now. Ownership probably does not want to go over that competitive balance threshold. So I was surprised when I saw that that report said that they had signed him. But now I'm not surprised at all that, that those rumors were shot down. So saying here too, Suzuki has not chosen a team. Teams like with the Padres, the Dodgers, Red Sox, Giants, Mariners, Cubs. You could probably cross off the Mariners now. I don't see the Mariners. I'll still consider the Giants. Giants, they like high upside right now. It seems like they're looking for upside kind of guys. So would not be surprised. He was the Giants were my number one pick for Seiya Suzuki. But the Red Sox, they've been linked with him. I don't know if that's going to happen now. You can't trust these reports out of Japan, I guess, because there were reports before the lockout that the Red Sox were going to be the number one team for Seiya Suzuki, and then that's not happening. And obviously the Padres today, and then that was shot down. So I don't know, man. We're going to have to wait and see. If he goes to the Padres, I'd be surprised. The only way I think he goes to the Padres is if they unload Hosmer or Myers. That's the only way that I can see it happening. Look out for the Dodgers, too. They've been connected. They were talking with Jorge Soler in the past couple of days. Could they pivot and go Seiya? So we'll have to wait and see. The Red Sox are still lurking out there. I think the Cubs do make a lot of sense timeline-wise. So gonna have to wait and see what ends up happening with Seiya Suzuki. But speaking of outfielders, we actually do have an outfielder that signed. Hey, good old Andrew McCutchen going to the Brewers. I like that the Brewers are adding a bat. Let's pull up some Andrew McCutchen stats here. But taking a look here, let's pull up the Brewers on Fangraphs. All right, but here is the story. Brewers sign Andrew McCutchen. This was reported by Daniel Alvarez Montes of El Extra Base. All right, and then Ken Rosenthal confirmed it. But with Andrew McCutchen, he was pretty decent last year. Not a great batting average overall, but the on-base was still pretty good. Slugging was okay. 27 home runs. The thing with Andrew McCutchen, he's kind of a platoon bat. At this point, he's going to mash lefties. If you take a look here, hit 293 against lefties, 405 on base, 622 slugging. This guy is going to mash, man. But against righties, not so good. So with the Brewers, it gives them another bat where they did add Hunter Renfroe. If we go to the Mariners, remember they added Hunter Renfroe. So they exchanged a lefty bat with Jackie Bradley Jr. and added 2 righty bats. Hunter with a $1.99 super chat. Which big free agent signs tonight? Someone's got to budge. I'm gonna wait out for Freeman. I wonder what is Freeman doing, man? Someone's got to sign. I don't know, man. I don't know. But Andrew McCutchen, as of right now, he's looking like their designated hitter. So it looks like the Brewers will probably take maybe the platoon option for designated hitter. You know what I think would be really good? Now, I don't know if you can fit him, but no, you probably can't fit him now. I was going to say maybe Jock Peterson, but with Jock Peterson, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be enough time or playing time for him because you already have 3 outfielders. You already have Kane, Renfroe, and then obviously Christian Yelich, sorry. But, yeah, so I don't think Jock Peterson will go to the Brewers now. But Andrew McCutchen, I think it's a solid signing, veteran guy. Hey, it's more offense. That's what the Brewers need. Even if it's only from one side of the plate, they need some offense any way they can get. So, but we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. But I did mention here Jorge Soler. It is looking like Jorge Soler is getting close to a decision. I mean, there's been a lot of teams talking with Jorge Soler, so let's actually go to the tweet here. This is from Hector Gomez. It says, Jorge Soler is expected to reach an agreement tonight or tomorrow. The conversations are getting more and more intense, which doesn't surprise me. World Series MVP. He mashed with the Braves, man. When he came over from Kansas City, holy cow, this guy put up some numbers with the Braves. Look at the numbers that he had for the Braves. 269 batting average, 358 on base, 524 slugging. Same amount of home runs roughly. Actually, no, he was ahead of pace. He had 55 games in the second half with the Braves, 14 home runs. He had 13 with Kansas City. So he went to the Braves and they just figured something out completely with him. Let's go take a look at his splits. Last year, here we go. So he was actually pretty similar. Lefties, he definitely had a better slugging. Against lefties, he had a 511 slugging compared to a 402 against righties. So he definitely would be better for, a team that is looking to hit left-handed pitching. So Jorge Soler, man, I wonder where he ends up going. I think the Red Sox are a really good fit. I think money-wise probably fits. He seems like a guy that Chaim Bloom would look to add. I don't know what it is. Like, he just has like that vibe to me where the money seems right. He's a platoon bat. Not great defense, but they can probably work with him, put him in, in left, DH him some days. Albert Galvin, what's going on? Happy with Boston moves so far. Yeah, I like what they've done for the bullpen. Feels like we still need to make some significant moves if we want to compete and not just overachieve. They were an overachieving team last year, and I will admit that. I think they had a really good first half of the season, which I think was the big key for them to making the playoffs. Because remember, in the second half, they were running into some issues. So because of that really good first half, I think that was key. But I do think overall, they really just hit a hot streak. Remember, they kind of limped into the playoffs. It took them to the last game of the season to get to the playoffs, and then they were 2 wins away from a World Series. So I wasn't even sure if they were going to get past the Yankees. But the Yankees are making moves. The Red Sox, they got to maybe answer somehow, some way. I feel like they need to make a move. I'm not sure what that move is, but I feel like they're going to. Chaim Bloom he's working the phones out there. He's going to make a move. It's just a matter of who and when. I don't think it's a matter of if, because he is connected to a lot of these guys. He was connected with Story. He's connected with Suzuki. He's been connected with Soler. So I'd imagine a right-handed bat is going to happen at some point. I don't know who that right-handed bat is going to be. Could you maybe engage with Kris Bryant? I don't know. Do they go that much money? I'm not really quite sure. But let's go to the free agent tracker. Who are some guys, maybe some right-handed bats that they could look at? Wouldn't be surprised that someone like a Jonathan VR. I feel like that could be someone because he has that versatility. So look out for the Red Sox maybe with VR. I could see something like that. Let me pull up here some offensive players. I don't think Castellanos really fits unless they put him out in left. I mean, I would be stoked if they got Castellanos, man. Would be stoked. Don't think Correa is going to happen. I don't think they bring Schwarber back. I think they're clearly looking for a right-handed bat. Clearly looking for one because everyone they've been connected to is right-handed. Could you do someone like Tommy Pham? Tommy Pham could be a guy that you put out there. He had some good expected numbers from last year. He ran into some bad luck. His batting average on balls in play was pretty low, which it was like too low, which suggests that he was just getting into some bad luck. Could you see maybe a guy like Matt Duffy? I could see the Red Sox doing someone like him. Like kind of like one of these lower names, Honestly, I could see someone like Matt Duffy. He has a good on base of 357, a 287 average. He can move around. He can play third. He can play second. He can play short. He can play left. Don't be surprised if the Red Sox add someone like Matt Duffy. I could see them adding someone like VR, Pham, Duffy. I think that could happen for sure. Eddie Rosario's still sitting out there, which I don't think they would go after him, but I think the Red Sox are going to end up getting a right-handed bat. That's what I think. So, and Soler obviously could be that guy too. So, maybe Donovan Solano? I could see the Red Sox doing something like that. That sounds like a Hein Bloom kind of a thing. So, but yeah, let's check the Twitters here. Let's check the Twitters. Do we have anything going on? Do we have anything going on? Anything going on? Anything going on? Where are the tweets? Where are the ones? Where's Heyman? Where's Passan? Oh, here we go. So, okay. Hector Gomez talking about Andrew McCutchen. I mean, really, the only news right now is Andrew McCutchen. So, Remy, I don't think Story goes to St. Louis. I just think, unless they make a move somewhere else. So, odd villain, maybe Kris Bryant to Boston. Yeah, Damian Grief, and I was just mentioning all those guys with the Red Sox. I mean, maybe Seiya could still be a possibility. So, I'll have to wait and see. Let's get into this here. Let's get into this. So, John Morosi here, he actually had a bit of a thread, it looked like. It looks like it was, oh, here we go. So, let's talk about Fernando Tatis Jr. here. So, the Padres are not expected to pursue voiding Fernando Tatis Jr.'s contract, even though an injury sustained while operating a motorcycle could provide the basis for doing so. One major reason the team values its long-term relationship with a superstar player. Yeah, I would too. The lockout is another factor. In theory, the Padres would need to prove the December accident caused the fracture in his wrist. It took 3 months for Tatis to report any issues. That's another thing too. He didn't report it, you know? Due to a delay in symptoms arising, the work stoppage, or both. Importantly, Padres officials are aware of only one motorcycle accident involving Tatis. Tatis alluded Monday to at least one additional incident, but that appeared to be a baseball or training-related injury or fall. You know, I'm not giving any excuses for Tatis, but you got to remember, he is still he's a kid. You know, I know he's an adult, obviously, because of his age, but he's a kid, you know? So this is a guy, the fact that he's fooling around on a motorcycle, I'm sorry, but if I'm getting paid millions of dollars, dude, the last thing I'm doing is, you know, doing wheelies on a motorcycle. I'm not saying he was doing wheelies, but well, how else did the accident happen? What was he doing? You know, I'm pretty sure if he was riding safe, obviously there was something. The only reason is maybe if he was riding and then a car cut him off or something like that. I don't know. I would need to know the details. I don't really want to go into it, but I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just I'm responsible. I don't know, but that's just me. But hopefully he learns a very valuable lesson from this. I did want to show a video. Let me actually see if I can let me see here. Because I'm not surprised about the way this kind of happened, because I have a friend that what is that? Hold on one second, everyone. Because I had a friend that had a fracture as well. And it's brutal, man. I gotta show this. This is not really baseball related, but it is hilarious. Let me see here. Let's see. Let me pull up the video. Hold on one second, everyone. Stick with me. Stick with me. What is my... Hold on. One second. It's a video on TikTok. I don't use TikTok. Sorry to all you TikTok fans out there, but I do not use the TikTok. All right, let's see. What the heck is going on? How do I log in here? I don't use TikTok. You know, I made an account just so I could just watch a video that someone sent me. Here we go. 1720. All right, is this gonna work now? What do you mean this doesn't work? Why can't I log in? How do I log in with just a username? Okay, I don't want to log in. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. So I think I got it here. Let's see. All right. Well, I guess I'm not going to be able to show it because I don't know what my password is on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. Or I have a TikTok, but I don't use it. So I don't even know what my password is. Oh, man, I really wanted to show this video. One second. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see here. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, I might have got it here. Maybe. Trying to send the video through my email. No, doesn't look like it's gonna send. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay, cool. All right. I think I got it. Hold on one second, everyone. Ah, yes. Yes, I got it. Okay, here we go. So thank you for waiting, everyone. Sorry about that. So Fernando Tatis Jr., right? He got a fracture in his wrist. So what happened, got in a motorcycle accident. Looks like that's probably when he fractured his wrist. So with the fracture, what happened was he probably rested it a little bit. He kind of waited for the soreness and whatnot to go away. He probably thought, okay, I'm good to go. And then he started swinging a bat. I guess he went to a scrimmage or something and he was going to play. And then he started swinging and then he hurt it more. And then he went and got it checked out. And then it showed that there was a fracture there, but it had healed up a lot, which suggested that he had this fracture happen a while ago. So the same thing happened with one of my good friends. One of my best friends. We've known each other now since for years. He went on a vacation last year. So I don't remember where he went, but he went sledding. So it was a whole bunch of snow. He went sledding. And then let's just go to the tape. Let's just go to the tape, shall we? Here we go. All right, so here's my friend sledding, right? So again, remember Fernando Tatis Jr., he had the fracture. Probably weeks later, started swinging a bat, ended up not being good. My friend, he went sledding, right? You're going to see here in a second, he ended up fracturing his tailbone, right? You're going to see how in a second. It's brutal. So he fractured his tailbone. And then me and him, we've done powerlifting now for years. He tried squatting a week later. And he was just in because he felt fine. He was walking around. He's like, okay, I think I'm okay. And then he tried squatting and with a barbell and everything. And he was just in excruciating pain. So I think the same thing happened with Fernando Tatis Jr. So Didn't really, there was still a fracture there. So let's watch the tape, shall we? So this is my good friend Brandon. He's on a nice little skiing trip. Not sure where. Maybe, I don't know. Let's just say let's say Alaska. Why not? Let's just say Alaska. But here we go. So here's my friend Kris. Quite the tall man. He's I think around 6'5". He's close to around 300 pounds. Very strong guy. Not quite 300 pounds. Probably around like 297, somewhere around there. But he is going to push my friend Brandon down this hill. He's going to push him down the hill, right? He's going to give him a good push off. Here we go. Look at the effort in that push. Quite the velocity from the start. And here we go. He is taking off down this hill. And wha-bam! Hits a tree stump. Down he goes. Just in agony. Rolling around. His wife runs over to go check on him. It was just brutal. Let's take a look at the instant replay, shall we? So again, Kris, a very strong push-off here. Very strong. Look at the triceps that got involved. Look at the hips. Look at the legs. Getting everything into that push. There goes Brandon. And bam! Hits a tree stump. And his tailbone just snaps into two pieces. Oh my goodness. So, same thing happened with Fernando Tatis Jr. Got in a motorcycle accident. Probably let it heal up for a little bit. Tried swinging a bat, and no. That takes a while. Takes a while for those fractures to heal up. So, and yes, odd villain. And now he is a vegetable. So, but let's see if there's anything going on. Remember last night we were here, and we got to all of our stories for the day, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like an RKO, out of nowhere, Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa got traded to the Yankees. So, but we're not seeing anything. So we're kind of in the same boat. Yeah, Jordan Withers. That was not a good hill for sledding. Bolt fractured my pinky toe by stubbing it and landed on it wrong and stubbed it. Oh my God. That sounds brutal. Oh, brutal. But we're not seeing anything new at the moment. Everyone, well, I'll stick around for a bit of a Q&A for a little bit. I'll take some questions. But let's get to 500 likes. We're at 467 likes. We got 1,000 people in the chat. Let's get to 500, shall we? Let's get to 500, and I'll do a Q&A. But we've gotten through all of the stories for today. Big day, man. Matt Olson going to the Braves. Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez going to the Mariners. Man. Kris Bryant looking maybe could be going to the Rockies. Probably not, but at least they're trying for him. Seiya Suzuki, not a Padre. So, got a lot happening. Bolt X, can you do a Chapman to the Rays? Let's do it. So that has been in the rumor mill. Maybe the Rays are looking at Matt Chapman. That definitely would be an upgrade. Would be an upgrade for sure. But let's see. What would it take? It wouldn't take much. It would not take all that much to get Matt Chapman. I think he's around $24 million in value. Obviously, with Chapman, you're getting a great glove. Average and on-base percentage need to come up. The power's there. But let's see. Let's pull up Chapman. So, yeah, $24 million. That just goes to show how much I'm on this website. I feel like I'm starting to just memorize these guys' values. So, taking a look. I mean, the Rays got prospects for days. They could definitely get this deal done. So, let's send back a prospect, right? Let's go to the Rays. Well, let's see who Baseball America has for the Rays' top prospects. Let's see. For the Rays, we have... All right, so Shane Baz, number 1. Josh Lowe, number 2. Vidal Brujan, number 3. Taj Bradley, Curtis Mead, Greg Jones, Carson Williams, Xavier Edwards, Cole Wilcox, and Willie Vasquez. So, if you're getting a third baseman in Matt Chapman, why not send a third baseman back like Curtis Mead? Why not send him back? What's the scouting report on him? From Australia. Look at that. So, what Baseball America is projecting for him, Mead still hasn't found his defensive home. He has fringe average range at third and playable hands, but his throwing action is long and unorthodox, and he can't rifle a throw without getting his feet set. He will most likely slide to first if he moves up, but he's athletic enough to be a plausible left fielder. But he's a below-average runner, so sounds like a good-hitting first baseman. Mead has the best combination of power, bat-to-ball skills, and hitting ability in the Rays. So you're getting a really good hitter in Curtis Mead. So why not? Let's do him. Let's put Mead here. $20 million worth of value. And then at this point, you're pretty much done. You just need maybe one more guy. So, I don't know. You can just put in whoever you want. Let's do, Gaston. And there you go. Maybe you can take out Mead and maybe put some different guys in. The fact that we're going, this is how good the Rays system is we're going all the way to the bottom of the page, and you still have guys that are $2 million worth of value. That is how good the Rays system is. Because, like, for example, if you go to the A's, who have one of the worst farm systems, look how quickly their value goes down. If you go to the bottom of the page, they're now at 0.4. So while the Rays are at, over 2 million for the guy that's at the bottom of the page. So, but for the Rays, if you didn't want to do Mead, you could do, I don't know, maybe you just do a few guys in the $10 million value range. Maybe you could send back Vasquez. Maybe you could send back Johnson. And then, I don't know. They just got Shenton recently. Could you flip Shenton now to the A's? Maybe. Let me take out Gaston. There we go. So maybe you could do a package like this. Johnson, Shenton, and Vasquez. Something like that possibly. But yeah, look out for Matt Chapman, maybe to the Rays. So I saw a question up here. Where was this question? It was something about the Red Sox. I thought it was a good one. Where did it go? Dr. Touchdown, what's your favorite Red Sox World Series win? Obviously 2004. Obviously, that's default. That's number one. That was nuts. I got to say 2013, man. 2013. Here's the thing with me and the Red Sox in 2004. I really got into the Red Sox in like 2002, 2003. So, like, obviously I knew the guys like Nomar, Pedro, when they signed Manny, that was cool. But I wasn't really I liked baseball at the time, but I didn't love it like I do now. So it was, at the time I wasn't really focused on watching baseball. It was when I was in high school and I was at home. I think I was like 13 or 13, 14, right? And then I saw the Red Sox and the A's were on TV, and I was like, oh, cool. The Red Sox A's, they're in the playoffs. Let me put this game on. And then Trot Nixon had a walk-off. J.W. Taylor with a super chat. What's going on? $4.99. What's Kris Bryant asking for? Would like him on the Braves if we can have the money. You're probably looking at around 5 years. Probably like 150, 160. Fangraphs, they're projecting him for 150. $25 million per year. Maybe you could get that to like 26, 27. I don't know. 25 seems like the sweet spot for me. So you're probably looking at maybe 6 years, 150, maybe a little higher. But right around this range, I would say. Thank you, J.W. Taylor. But getting back to that question, 2013, I had really grown. At that point, the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004. I had a couple of years of being when I started watching the Red Sox back in 2003, I got obsessed with them. So that was like where it all started. So But I didn't have all that experience with those teams, the Red Sox in the late 90s and the early 2000s. I had seen what their teams looked like and whatnot. But at that time, baseball just wasn't really my focus. But then 2013, I had been following the Red Sox like every day. And obviously 2007 happened. That was really cool. But 2013 was special to me because of the Boston Marathon. That whole year, that team was so fun. And that 2012 was such a bad year. And then 2013 happened. That was an awesome year, man. That was an awesome year. Joe, my guy, thoughts on the Cleveland Guardians? I wonder. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything serious there. Because if you're looking at the Guardians right now, I mean, they definitely, I think, could add someone. I think that'd be really good. But as of right now, it's short. You have Ahmed Rosario. And then, and then at second, you have Andres Jimenez. Obviously, Story would be an upgrade offensively. And I don't know. I just wonder, could you move Rosario somewhere else? What other positions did he play last year? He played short. He has played outfield. So you could move Rosario to the outfield if that's the route you wanted to go. So, I don't know. I feel like Story just doesn't end up going there. I don't know. I think Story ends up... I'm going to say Story goes to either the Twins, the Angels, or maybe the Red Sox. So, Robert, where do you see Greinke going? I would say... I don't know. Where could he end up going? I honestly would love to see him with the Rays. He lives in Florida in the offseason, so I think he actually has a home in Orlando. So Greinke on the Rays would be fun. I think a team like Texas could be good. They could use a veteran guy. So maybe Texas. Maybe the Twins. They're looking to add starting pitching. Maybe the Twins. So Billy Haber, Vlad looking like he's going to be moving back to third base. Huh. Is Vlad Guerrero Jr. trolling out there because maybe they're going to add a first baseman? Oh, man. Yeah, Robert, maybe the Braves too for Greinke. That's possible. So they could definitely use some more starting pitching depth. Yeah, Bongo, I think the Twins could pick up Story. What do we got here? John Sullivan, any hope the Mets get to Pair or Chafin? I mean, at this point, the Mets, I got to wonder, are they going to want to go over that $290 million payroll? Are they going to do it? Because they're getting pretty close now, I think. So if we look at the payroll, they're at $285. Chafin, if you had Chafin or Tepera, you're going over that. So, I don't know. David Young, favorite Red Sox player. I really like, right now, I would say JD Martinez. I love the way JD Martinez hits. He's just so good. He hits to all fields. Man, I saw him hit an opposite field home run live. Just the way it came off the bat, it was stupid, man. I really like JD Martinez a lot. All time, I really liked Bill Miller. I was a fan of Bill Miller back in the day, and Trot Nixon. Those two guys, I thought they were really underrated. Gritty players. I really liked those two back in the day. Let's see if there's anything new here. Hey, someone said congratulations. Hey, Southside, what's going on? Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. But no new news from anyone. So, take a couple of more questions here. John Sullivan, Trevor Story. I would love Trevor Story. If they got him, I would freak out. Kris Bryant, I would freak out too. That would be awesome. Man. Jeff, as a Yanks fan, I'm still undecided on JD, but one thing I think can happen is that he will be good for the rivalry. Yeah, Josh Donaldson. When I first read JD, I was thinking JD Martinez. But yeah, Josh Donaldson, I think he's going to be good for the Yankees. I think that's going to be a good guy to bring into that clubhouse. I mean, Garrett Cole and him, everyone was saying, oh my God, they got that beef. That's not going to be good. Come on, you can just have a conversation. Go behind closed doors and talk it out. So, Yeah, Joe, my guy. You could trade Ahmed. Absolutely. You could make some room. Tyler Lee, thoughts on Castillo to the Angels? I don't think they have the prospects to do it. Trenton, are the Rangers going to do anything else? They need pitching, man. They need pitching. David, Robbie, out of 10, Phillies chance to sign Bryant. I would say 7 out of 10. At least a 6. I would say 6 or 7 out of 10. That's what my gut is. Jordan Withers, thoughts on Razor Ramon passing Scott Hall. Hey, man. You know, I didn't really watch a lot of WCW, and I didn't watch WWE in the early 90s or in the mid-90s, you know. But obviously that ladder match with Scott Hall or Razor Ramon at the time and Shawn Michaels, one of the best of all time. It was nuts. He was just really good, man. But there's a lot of cool stories about Scott Hall where he would go to places like, you know, Japan, and he would just put guys over, you know, like young guys. And he would put these guys over. And in Japan, you didn't see that very often. But Scott Hall, he was always looking at other younger guys. Like, all right, who's a guy that I could help put over? Who's a guy that I could, you know, make look better? He had the charisma of, like, holy cow. He had just a crazy charisma about him. He was nuts. Like, he was, like, anytime he spoke, you just listened. You know, he was one of those guys. So, Gabs Cats, does Seiya play third? No, I don't believe he does. I think he's just an outfielder. Ratchet, what are your thoughts on MLB wanting to have a pickoff limit? Is that a thing? I haven't seen that. If they do want to have a pickoff limit, I mean, hey, whatever they can do to help speed up the game, man. So, David, trust the process. You're thinking 10 out of 10. Let's do it. Kris Bryant, I think, would be really good for the Phillies. So, brother, what's going on? What the Yankees need for first base? To be honest, between Donaldson trade, are they going to trade Glaber? Well, I mean, now the Matt Olson's off the table. I would think Glaber's staying. They could just stick with what they have, essentially. I think they probably end up bringing back Rizzo. Unless they feel like DJ LeMahieu is the guy. It just depends on what they think. Do they think Glaber is the guy there, or, you know, could they bring in Rizzo, shift DJ over to second, and then what do you do with Glaber? So I know they like Glaber Torres, man, but look what happened with Gary Sanchez. This was a guy they were so stubborn about, and they would just, man, it's like it was clear as night and day that Gary Sanchez was not the guy. But Yankee fans, hey, listen, with all due respect, I understand this guy came up clutch in sometimes. You know, he had, 2017, a really good year. I can't remember the year exactly, if it was 2017. I think it was 2017. But I get it. Like, you know, I understand, like, yes, there were some moments, but he was not the player, man. Like, he was not the catcher. It was so obvious that he was not the catcher. Like, and the Twins, they're not looking to have him be the catcher, which is a really good thing. The guy can hit. Let him focus on hitting. It's like not a bad thing if, like, you know, you can just be a hitter. You know? If you can just focus on that and just get him off of, you know, stop worrying about catching. Just focus on what you're good at, and that's with the bat. So, I don't know, but the Yankees could definitely move Glaber if they ran out of patience with Gary Sanchez. If they were just ready to move on, could they be ready to move on from Glaber? So Glaber had a bad 2020, not a good 2021. So it definitely could be time. Maybe they make the move. So Tristan, what are the chances of Bryant for the Mariners? I still think they could do it. They could do it. It just, you know, you would have to move Toro probably to the bench, but. Principal McVicker, where do you see Greinke going? I think I'll go Greinke to the Rangers. I'll go the Rangers. I thought Kershaw was going to go to the Rangers, and I was wrong. They could use a veteran. They could use a veteran there. Let's get Greinke on the Rangers. So, what about a 1-year deal for Correa? I think he could end up taking that 1-year deal. I think he goes back to the Astros. I think 0% chance he goes to the Red Sox. If he goes to the Red Sox, I would be stunned. Stunned. Danny, I think the Red Sox are going to add a right-handed bat. I'm not sure who that is. If it's not someone like Bryant or Story, which honestly, I don't think that could end up that will end up happening because Heim doesn't go after these big guys. Like, he doesn't do it. I could see them doing someone like Matt Duffy, like something like that, you know, kind of like what they've been doing with these relievers. They're not going after any big names, but they're going after, like Diekman, Strom, like kind of these guys that could be solid, but he's getting them for cheap. So going to have to wait and see. But I definitely think you can end up getting someone like Jonathan Villar, Matt Duffy, Jorge Soler. I definitely think he could go after. It depends on what his price is. But they've been connected with right-handed bats. So going to have to wait and see. Ben, when will Freeman sign? Dude, who knows? I mean, can he sign right now before we get out of here? Please? Can we get some kind of a tweet, please? Anything? Oh, Dennis Lynn. Come on. Oh, look at good old Rafi Devers. Look at the smile on Rafi Devers. He's so happy. Look at Rafael Devers. Let's pick it up with the defense, huh? Robert, what do you see the Dodgers doing? Well, it looks like they're focused on Soler, so it looks like they're looking for a bat, which I would imagine they're trying to replace, Corey Seager's bat there. We're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Mortal, what's going on? Tony Gonsolin, Ryan Pepio, Wilman Diaz for Frankie Montez. I mean, Frankie Montez would be great. I think he would be awesome for the Twins. So, William Andrews, any confirmation on Suzuki? No, nothing. There's nothing going on. There's nothing going on. Hector Gomez, I don't know what he's tweeting about. He's talking about basketball. Hector Gomez, now is not the time. Hector Gomez, what are you doing? You seem like a very nice gentleman. Can you please stop talking about basketball? This is not the right time. I don't care about Karl Anthony Towns. I care about Freddie Freeman. What the heck are you doing? I don't want basketball right now. Jesse, what do you see the Giants doing? I hope Seiya Suzuki. That'd be great. Andrew, where do you think Freeman will land? I'm gonna say the Dodgers. I'm going to say the Dodgers. But, man, if he goes to the Blue Jays, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be quite upset. I'll be quite cheesed off about that. Carlos, yeah, man. Luis Castillo for the Yankees. Good grief. I still think the Yankees could use a number 2. I don't trust Luis Severino. Jordan Montgomery, I feel like he's more of like a 3. Like a 3. Yeah, I think just a good 3. But MJ Torres, what about Trevor Story? Again, I think Story goes to the Twins, the Angels, maybe the Red Sox. If the Astros can't figure something out with Correa, I could see the Astros. Seaton, do you think the Mariners make any moves, and what could they be? I don't know, man. I hope Kris Bryant, man. I've been thinking that was the move. But King Joker, who is your prediction to be the most surprising team this offseason? There's a few teams. I don't know if it would be really surprising, but I think the Guardians could be a really good team. They have a good team. If they could add one more bat, I really think the Guardians could be good. I really do. They have a good team. They have good pitching. Shane Bieber, hopefully a full season, healthy season. I've been saying this on the record. I think there's a chance the Diamondbacks could be good. Look out for the Diamondbacks. I think the Rockies could be good. Those are my surprise picks, honestly. I'll go with the Guardians. I was talking about the Twins for a while there, even before these moves that they've made. I think the Twins could be good. I still think they need to add another bat. I liked how they looked with Kiner Falefa, but they need more pitching. So I do think the Rockies could be good. Robert, I see you in the chat. I think the Rockies could have a good team because if they add a bat, if they can add someone, I think they could be pretty good. I like the starting pitching. I'm not in love with it, but I like it. They got some decent arms in the bullpen. I just like that they can field the ball well. They play good fundamental baseball. That's what I like about the Rockies. They got guys that can field. And I like Brendan Rodgers too. I think he's like a pretty underrated name going into next year. So, but the Rockies, if they could maybe somehow add maybe another starting pitcher, maybe. I think they're a couple of moves away from maybe being a contender, but I wouldn't be surprised. The Rockies did a lot better last year than a lot of people thought. So, Hector Gomez, you're killing me. Yeah, Nick Castellanos, man. If we got Castellanos in Boston and he played left field, are you kidding me? Castellanos and JD Martinez in the same lineup? Oh, come on. Come on. That'd be awesome. So, but alrighty, everyone. I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm done. Unless something happens, I'm going to get out of here for the night. We're at 20.4K subscribers. We just hit 20K today, and we've gained around 400 subscribers today. About 500 subscribers today. So if there is anyone new still in the chat, haven't hit the subscribe button, hey, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're talking baseball here all the time. Hit the like button, everyone, before you get out of here. We got to 500 likes, so thank you so much for that. Don't forget the bell notification. Share the stream for anyone that couldn't make it in tonight. Share any other content as well. But, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to call it unless if something else happens, I'll come back on. But I will be back tomorrow. I know that for sure. We're going to be live pretty much every night, I would think, until at least all these big free agent signings happen. But that's the big thing right now, are these free agents. We still got Correa, Freeman, Castellanos, Bryant, Story, Schwarber, Rizzo, Soler. We still got a lot of names out here. Conforto. Don't forget about Michael Conforto. Jock Peterson's still out there. And those are just hitters. And we got some pitchers out there. Nothing crazy with the pitching, but you still got a lot of good relievers out there. Colin McHugh, Kenley Jansen, Ryan Tepera, obviously. Still got guys like Pineda, Boyd, Greinke. Hey, Brett Gardner's still out there. Good old Brett Gardner. So, but yeah, everyone, we're gonna be here live every night, every week, or for the rest of the week, most likely. So, but yeah, gonna have to wait and see what happens. But if anything else does happen tonight, I will definitely come back on. But if I don't, I will talk to you next time. Have a good night, everyone.